Hey everybody, in this tutorial I will be showing you how to do an auxiliary view on an orthographic drawing. So as you can see here in the figure, there are holes that have been placed on the sloped surface here. So in order to dimension those holes accurately, we are going to have to create an auxiliary view. So we're going to go ahead and start our drawing like we've done in the past, and we're going to click in the left-hand corner, the little plus sign, and then we're going to select Create Drawing. And then we're going to choose ANSI C Inch. And click OK. And as it loads, we're going to set this up just like we've done in the past, where we're going to set up a top front right side view initially, and then we'll add our auxiliary view on a second sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my part. And as you can see right now, my view is pretty small. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the scale size from 1 to 2 to 1 to 1. And that should be the appropriate size, and we're going to keep it as the front view orientation. I'm then going to place my view, my front view, in the bottom left. I'm going to drag up, place my top view. Okay, come down, click on my front view to do my right side view. And then last click on the front view to do the isometric view. And as you can see, this isometric view is huge, so I'm going to have to scale that down. So I'm going to uncheck projected view. I'm going to right click on my isometric view, view properties, and then I'm going to go ahead and scale that down to 1 to 2. And that should work. Hit the green check mark and place it in the top right corner. Okay, so now we're ready to start dimensioning. I'm going to go ahead and edit my drawing properties and edit my text size to 0.250 and scroll, click on the annotations tab as well, and then change my notes to 0.250. Okay, call outs to 0.250. And then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and select whole call outs as well and make that 250 and hit enter. Okay, so I've edited all of the fields that I need to increase the text size, and now I am ready to dimension. Let's go ahead and call this auxiliary view drawing, and then hit the check mark. Okay, now that I've labeled my drawing, auxiliary view drawing, I'm going to go ahead and right click, zoom to fit, and now I'm ready to start adding in my dimensions. So again, I'm going to follow my dimensioning reminders as I've done in the past. I'm going to start with the height dimension, do my width, and then my depth. But notice here, if you look on the drawing here, it's really hard seeing this sloped surface from either the top view or the right side view. And even the circles there look like ovals on both the top and the right. So that means you can't really dimension them accurately as far as the size or the location. So that's why we're going to be creating an auxiliary view. But again, first we're going to go ahead and set up our dimensions starting with the height. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the dimension tool. And we're going to go ahead and add in dimensions as we go. So we know the height is shared between the top and the right side. We can look and see we have some contour here, right? We can see the sloped surface from the front view, and we can see the cutout section. So I'm going to be using both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and select the top edge and the bottom edge and drag my overall height to the left here, which is 5. But then I'm going to choose my baseline edge, okay, and then dimension it from the bottom up. But I'm going to do that here because I can see the cutout section. So my height dimension is going to go here adjacent to both views. I could do it up to this edge here, but I think because of the cutout here, it makes more sense. And those are the only two edges that are parallel to the baseline, which is our bottom edge. So those are the only two height dimensions I need. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the width. Again, width works left to right between the top and the front. So again, I'm going to place my dimension here on the bottom edge of my front because my front view has the most contour, and then drag that down. Now, a lot of times we do place our dimensions adjacent in between, but I think on the bottom here, it's showing us where that slope starts. So I think that's more effective in this case. And then I am going to use my left edge as my baseline. And so remember, a parallel edge can be a corner as well. So I want a dimension to this corner here, as well as this corner here. So I'm going to click on the left edge, click to this point, drag up, and I get 7. And then I'm going to go from the left edge to the corner here, and I get 4. And those are my width dimensions. Now I'm ready to start working on my depth. My depth is between the top and the right side. So again, we have an overall depth here. This time I'll put my depth here, and then I need to know the distance from where the cutout section is again, so I'll choose it here, and that will be my depth dimensions. Okay, so now that I have my height, width, and depth dimensions in, I'm ready to start working on the auxiliary view. So again, what we are going to do is we are going to create a second sheet. So I'm going to turn off the dimension tool, and I'm going to come over to the left-hand side and click on our little stack sheets here icon. Click that once, and then again, go to the top right corner and select Insert Sheet. So again, here's my page 2. Now I'm ready to insert my view again, and I'm going to go ahead and click Insert View up on my top menu. Again, I'm going to have to edit the scale size to 1:1, and I can leave it in front orientation, and I'm just going to place my view again towards the bottom left. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off projected view, and I just need my front view in here because what I want to focus on when I'm doing my auxiliary view is the edge that I need to see, and which is the slope surface here, and it's just being shown by the edge. So now I'm going to come up to my toolbar and I'm going to select auxiliary view. It's this icon right here, just to the right of projected. Click on that once, and then you're going to come down and you are going to select the edge that's slanted on the front view. When you do that, you'll notice that your view comes out, and you can see the size of it. It's pretty big, but I think that's going to be fine for what we need to do. And again, we just want to make sure that the edges of the figure are not going outside the border of the page. Okay, and once that's there, now we can see that slope surface, and it is much more straight on view. And you can see the circles now look like, or the holes look like circles here. So now we can dimension them, and we're going to dimension them the same way as we've done before. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to mark the centers. So we're going to click center mark, and then I'm going to click each of the holes. Now I need to mark the locations of those holes. So again, we need to pick 2 perpendicular edges to do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and select my dimension tool, and I'm going to work off the left edge, and I'm going to click the left edge to the center of the circle and drag down. And this time the dimensions, because it's an auxiliary view, the dimensions can be, extension lines can be angled like this. Notice the dimension text is completely horizontal, which is exactly what we want. So this is fine for this type of dimension when you're doing an auxiliary view. Now we need to mark the left edge also to the center of this hole and drag that down. And those are the 2 dimensions. These holes are all aligned to one another, these 3. So I don't need to dimension each one. It's going to be the same dimension. If again these holes were offset or kind of like zigzagging on the drawing, then yes, you would have to dimension each one. Then I need to mark the distance from the bottom edge. So we selected the left edge here, and now this bottom edge. So I'm going to click that, and again to this hole. Okay, so that's obviously a smaller dimension. Then we're going to kind of work our way up here, a little bit larger. And then this one here, the furthest one is going to go furthest from the part. Okay, so those are the 4 dimensions that we need to dimensions as far as the location there. And so now we can go ahead and dimension the holes themselves. So this time we're going to go ahead and select hole callout. It doesn't matter which hole you select. Again, all the holes are the same, but if, again, they were different, you would need to dimension each hole. So I'm going to go ahead and select this hole here. And again, you can place this, you can place it here, actually above here. It looks like it's in a good spot. It's not crisscrossing any of the dimension lines or extension lines. And it's in a perfect position. So I'm going to click one time. Go ahead and click on the little icon here to get the little window to pop up. And because there are 4 holes, again, I'm going to click in this box here and then select 4x, the space, and that'll tell me each one of these holes are the same 4 times, and with a diameter of 1 and a depth of 1. And then go ahead and click in the empty space, uncheck hole callout, and then I have those dimensions accurately placed. So that is how you create an auxiliary view and then dimension the holes on that auxiliary view. If you have any questions, please let me know.